So the NHL's Four Nations Hockey Tournament, which I might be doing an entirely separate video on, and the NBA's All-Star Game were this past weekend.
Cage, you had over 860,000 votes. Blake Griffin before you, the last Piston All-Star, had 640. How does it feel to know that the fans showed up for you and that there's a lot of Detroit Pistons fans back home ready to root you on in your first appearance?
Yeah, it feels great. It feels great. It feels great to play for the Pistons. Obviously, we have a super passionate fan base, but that definitely plays into the commitment to the organization, to the city, is the amount of love that they give back to you. So all of it plays a huge role, and why I'm so passionate about the Pistons and the city and the organization. So it's fun. I'm glad I get to represent.
So I obviously won't be doing Disabled Danny Detroit discussions today. The Premier Lacrosse League has a tournament going on right now, but it's not even the regular season. I don't think that you guys want to hear about an out-of-season tournament. February definitely isn't the time to talk about lacrosse. I will say that these jerseys are freaking sweet though. Given all that, we're going to do a Disabled Danny deep dive on the show High Potential. Not the high dive though. You will never catch me on a board higher than a meter. Anyway, High Potential. It's in that crime-solving category, hence the Sherlock Holmes hat. The hat also came with this magnifying glass and pipe. Thanks, Internet. Speaking of the magical interwebs, I'll be getting a lot of information from IMDb for this one, or the Internet Movie Database. I've been using IMDb for literal years now. I remember looking stuff up on the database since before smartphones were even a thing. But it's literally been years since I've been instantly hooked by a TV show, the way High Potential hooked me. It feels nostalgic, but like it's a new show, which is weird. I think the cast has a lot to do with it. The main character is Morgan Guillory, played by Caitlin Olsen from It's Always Sunny. She has what's called HPI, which makes her obsess about certain things. It's not like this though.
I see a man using a social disorder as a procedural device.
Think Benedictine Cumberbatch from Sherlock, who comes off as a smug asshole. Morgan just comes off as witty and compassionate. Her ex-husband is played by Taron Killam from SNL. I really like how their relationship is shown from a co-parenting perspective instead of a romantic one. Another reason for that nostalgic feeling is Judy Reyes, or Nurse Carla from Scrubs. Scrubs was always a special show for me. It was one of those shows I was really into before I became disabled. I'd rewatched the series multiple times, and when I couldn't do anything but lay in bed after brain surgery, I found it very comforting. Anyway, Judy Reyes plays Lieutenant Sandra Santos. A major plot line involves Santos doing this side investigation as a favor. So Morgan is usually teamed up with Detective Adam Karadec, who is apprehensive at first, and for good reason. Criminal cases are incredibly difficult to prosecute, and Karadec seems to be aware of that. The reality is you need to get 12 people to agree beyond a reasonable doubt that someone is guilty of a crime. But people convicted of a crime have rights. A good attorney could probably argue that one of Morgan's cases violated someone's civil rights. So like all the cool shit we saw Morgan do all episode would probably get thrown out of court. You can understand why Karadec would want to avoid that, but Morgan basically throws chain of command into the wind. A big aspect of their relationship is learning to work together, which makes for compelling TV. The other two detectives are Daphne and Oz. My biggest gripe about the show is the length. I think all of these characters are really interesting, and I loved how they used Oz's backstory in the finale. I wish we could have gotten a longer season and really fleshed the characters out. I feel like every show is experiencing the Ryan Murphy effect. Ryan Murphy, if you're unfamiliar, is the American Horror Story guy. He's obviously done more, like a lot more. But Ryan Murphy tells stories in a way where you really don't need fleshed out characters. AHS is an anthology, so that short, concise storytelling really leaves a lot to be desired in a show like High Potential. Or Skeleton Crew, which I'll be talking about on Friday. I think there's absolutely a place for Ryan Murphy's style. When Murder House was released, it was literally groundbreaking. I really think networks saw the success of AHS and saw the potential of spending less money by making a really condensed season of television. But like I said, that really only works for the anthology genre. These are characters that we connect with and want to see them more fleshed out. Like give people a reason to stick around after they tune in, you know. That's all I really have to say. If you've made it this far, thank you. If you're not a Danimal yet, you can become one by subscribing to join my cult, the Dan Fam. I also have a website, disableddanny.com, where you can get merch and whatnot. Oh, and remember to like the video and hit the notification bell. But as always, be gentle about it.
Peace out, y'all.